that's actually one of the huge mistakes of people when they're considering, how they want to eat and getting food on the table, is that they don't think about it in terms of a system and the habits that you need to be taking in order to set yourself up for success. And so when I talk to people about making a plan, they're like, oh yeah, a meal plan. I make a meal plan. And I'm like, well, yeah, you do need a meal plan, but you need a little bit more planning. And so I really like to talk to people about, not only do you need a meal plan, which you do, you do need to have a meal plan. You need to have, more importantly, I think you need to have a time plan. Okay, so when am I going to sit down and decide what our family is going to eat this week? Okay, when am I going to make that trip to the store? Okay, when am I going to prep my stuff for, to be successful for the busy week when it comes up? Yeah. When am I going to pull my meat out of the freezer? Those are the time questions that we need to create answers for if we're going to be successful in our food system. And when I look back in my life, when I've been successful with my food system and when I'm not, it has absolutely come down to my time plan, for sure. It's when I do not carve out the time to make a plan, and somehow I just try to pretend that somehow we'll just be able to do it, like without any thought whatsoever. And it doesn't take a lot of time. And I think the problem, and I'm sure that you can relate to this both in your work with moms in homeschooling, it's that we have to think of it ahead of time. So if we plan ahead of time, it actually takes us far less time than if we wait until 5 p.m. and, everybody's hungry. And this is something that I teach, is that when I sit down and make a plan, I've been on a little bit of a break, but typically I shop every 2 weeks. And I make all of our food decisions twice a month. So I sit down in a 2-hour time period and I make all of my food decisions all at one time. This is my number one energy saving tip that I could give to moms, because the alternative is, let's say we've got 6 people in our home. I haven't done this math in a long time. They each need to eat 3 times a day. So that's 18 food decisions a day. I don't know what that is times, let's just say it's 20 a day. So let's say it's 140 food decisions a week.
Wow.
Let's just estimating. Okay. Right. So I have a choice that I can sit down in one sitting and just make those 140 food decisions in a 1-hour time period. If I'm planning for a week, I can do that in about an hour. If I'm planning for 2 weeks, I need a couple hours. The alternative is every single time that somebody's hungry, I have to make a food decision. Right. So I'm going to make 140 food decisions one by one by one by one. And by the end of the week, I feel like somebody should just stab me with a carrot because I'm so frustrated, right?
Exactly.
Because then you're thinking about food all the time.
Exactly. You have no downtime from it.
Yep. And it takes way too high of a priority in your life. And so not only has it taken way more energy than you ever want to give your food life,
right,
but it also doubles or triples the amount of time that you spend on it. So the greatest way to save time and energy in your food life is to have a designated time where you're making those decisions and make them all at once. And then